Hi, my name's Jessica Porter, wrote the Hip Chick's Guide to Macrobiotics. Buy one, buy 10, buy 100, I only make $1 a book. So, today we're going to be making kimpira, or kinpira, depending on how you translate the Japanese. It is a dish made of burdock and carrots. Sometimes you add other things like lotus root, but today we're going to go for the regular burdock and carrots. And they are matchstick cut into tiny little pieces, and we saute them all together with soy sauce and a squeeze of ginger juice. Burdock is an incredibly hard root that is grown very deep in the ground, and it's expensive because it's actually kind of hard to harvest. It tends to look longer than this. This is cut in half, and has a very earthy, woody smell. I'm going to be cooking with my hair down today for a couple of reasons. First of all, I have great hair and I want to show it off. Extremely good for your blood. It's a blood strengthener and blood purifier, and it makes you feel strong. If you're making a split pea soup and you want something to mimic the taste of ham, believe it or not, you put burdock in the soup and it tastes sort of... Second of all, even if I get 10 hairs in the kimpira, you're not here and you're not going to be tasting it, I'm sorry to say, so you can't call the Board of Health when you start choking on one of my hairs. Let's start cutting the burdock. So, we're going to be cutting it like this. You want, at an angle, some slices, do 4 or 5 slices. And then you stack them into a little stack. Some people, they slice them so well that the stack just comes right off their knife. That's never happened for me. And then you take your little stack and you cut that into the matchsticks. This, by the way, is a Japanese vegetable knife with a nice, big, and yet thin blade. The perfect thing for cutting vegetables. They're a nice matchstick burdock. Put those over to the side. We're going to do the same thing with the carrot. Taking off the ends. See, the carrot's stacking a little more easily. I'm doing this by myself today. If you haven't noticed, I don't have a camera person with me. So, bear with me. I remember I was at the Kuchi Institute once, and I just had a couple tablespoons of kimpira one day, and it was a cold day, and after I ate it, I suddenly thought, let's go hiking. Let's go hiking. And it was I knew that it was a kimpira that was saying it. Because I'm not a big hiker. Don't worry if your stacks are happening slowly. Better to be precise and not chop off all your fingers than try and be a perfectionist. Perfectionism is delusional. It is delusional. We want the oil to be hot, but not to smoke. If it smokes, it's creating free radicals, which are implicated in cancer. So you want to make sure your oil isn't smoking. We're going to add the burdock. There's a hair. Lucky you. And a tiny pinch of salt. That'll help the burdock start to... Oh, another hair. Help the burdock start to break down and release a little bit of its liquid. It's kind of a dry food, so it doesn't have that much liquid, but the burdock goes in first because it's the hardier vegetable. It needs a little more cooking time. Nice. The carrots need another tiny pinch of salt. Remove the hairs. What a burden to have such incredibly attractive tresses. What a burden. So we're mixing them together. The carrot's going to start to weep a little as well, which is good. I mean, they don't have as much liquid in them as, say, an onion, but vegetables have a lot of fluid. And the salt helps to start pulling out the fluid, breaking down the vegetable, giving it some flavor. You want to keep stirring right at the beginning. So once we see the carrots start to soften a little, we are going to add add a tiny bit of water. You don't want to add too much water to your kimpira because it'll become soggy, so it's just the right amount. And it depends on how long you're going to cook it. Some kimpiras will go for 45 minutes in the dead of winter when you need something really warming and energizing. Other kimpiras are like 7 to 10 minute kimpiras. So we're going to do something sort of in between, like 10 to 15. I'm going to add this much water. And cover it. And bring down the flame. So now we just let it sit while we grate our ginger. That's probably more than we need. And when the kimpira is ready, we're going to squeeze this, because it's full of juice, into the dish. Now, the kimpira's been cooking for about 9 minutes. Ooh, looks nice. Now, I'm going to add some soy sauce to this. Just the equivalent of probably a half teaspoon. And now soy sauce needs to cook in for 4 minutes. And whatever dish you put soy sauce in, it needs to cook in for 4 minutes. So, considering this will dry it out a little, our kimpira in 4 minutes is going to be almost dry. Open it up. Squeeze a little bit of ginger juice, not too much, but enough to definitely give it a ginger bite. And that is our lovely dish. I'm just going to get a fork. Oh, that's a spoon. That's a spoon too. There's a fork. Perfectionism is delusional.